everyone, welcome back to this Agent Memory series, where we cover how an agent remembers from short-term memory to long-term memory. In the last episode, we built working memory with session and state, leveraging the ADK agent's short-term memory. And that worked well until the app restarts. Then everything is gone. So today, we fixed two things. Firstly, we will make the chat itself durable by switching to a database session service so the agent can continue where it left off after a restart. And secondly, we will add a user profile store for key facts like vegetarian or like museum. So even a new chat next week can still remember the user's preference. By the end of this episode, you will see, firstly, how to plug in a persistent session service, and secondly, how to design a small user preference database, and lastly, how the agent reads and writes that profile through the tools. Alright, let's go to the first part, how to make the chat doable with a database session service. So this is our first upgrade from our last episode, persistent session. In the last episode, we used in-memory session service, and here we replace it with a database session service that writes to a database file or a real database like Postgres. From now on, every user message, every agent reply, and every state change is saved to disk. The benefit is very simple. If the app restarts and the user returns with the same session ID, the session service loads the full history and the latest stat. And the agent continues this conversation. Note that you can also use the link on the screen or the QR code to find the source code we're talking about here. So here, we use helper function get or create session. It first calls get session. If it exists, we resume. And if not, it will create session and start fresh. Here, you don't rewrite your agent logic. You just swap the storage engine under the session service. ADK also offers other types of session service, which are in-memory session service. That is what we used in last episode. It is fast, but it's short-term. It clears on restart. And then we have database session service. You own the database, so conversation survives restarts. And lastly, we have Vertex AI Session Service. It is managed on Google Cloud. We will deep dive into this with Memory Bank in the next episode. In summary, the session service is pluggable, and your agent logic can stay the same. And the second part of this video is to add a user profile store for long-term personalization. And this user profile store is for important facts. Persistent sessions helps you resume the same conversation. But when the user opens a new chat with a new session ID, next week, there is no transcript to read. So we add a small database table for preference, one row per user ID and preference key. These example keys can be dietary, favorite theme, transport mode. We keep it small and structured so it's easy to query and update. How does the agent use this data? We give the agent two tools. The first tool is recall user preference. It reads all saved preference for this user. And the second tool is save user preference. It inserts a new key or update an existing key. And both tools get a context that includes the current user ID, so write and read are tied to the right person. We also guide the agent with clear instructions. Firstly, recall first. At the very start of the conversation, call recall user preference. And then personalize and plan. You can use whatever you find. And thirdly, present and learn. After planning, ask if there's anything new to save. And lastly, save last. If the user provides a new fact, call save user preference before finishing. And let's put it together and give it a try. If you take a look at the screen, at turn 1, first-time user says, can you help me plan a trip? The agent follows its instruction and call recall user preference first. Nothing is found. And then the agent proposes a plan, then asks, Do you have any preference that I should remember? At turn 2, saving a fact, the user says, please save that I am a vegetarian. And the agent then calls save user preference. It gets an update successful message and confirm to the user that the preference is saved. And then we simulate a restart. We stop the app. Memory in RAM is gone. But our session is on disk, and our user profile is in its preference table. A new chat next week, a brand new session ID. A user says, hi, I'm back. Can you plan a trip for me? And then the agent starts by calling recall user preference. And now it can find the role with dietary equals to a vegetarian and personalize it right away. And this proves two behaviors. Persistent sessions let us continue an existing chat after a restart. The user profile stores let us personalize a brand new chat for the same person. So you can also use the link on the screen or QR code to find the whole demo. Let's wrap up what we covered in this episode. So we made the chat doable by switching to a database session service. That means a restart doesn't break the conversation. We also add a user profile store with two tools, recall and save, so the agent can remember key facts across different chat and different days. Next time, we will go beyond structured preference and single chats. We will build a memory bank that can archive entire conversations and even media, text, image, audio, and video. And then search by meaning to bring back useful facts in a new chat. And that's how your agent remembers the photo of that building or the audio clip from that live and use the detailed weeks later. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!